First and foremost, I run programs for the federal government with the state of Wisconsin. I'm also an honorary counsel for the state of Wisconsin through the Republic of South Africa out of the Chicago Consulate. And I followed up with a very important process in my life, and that is my wife is from South Africa. So I have the opportunity to, in the near future, to actually have citizenship in South Africa. And we have 3 businesses going right now. We have two for-profit businesses. One is Kwabe Enterprises, and then the other one is Tonda International. Those businesses are export-import businesses that we're really getting prepared with Toyin's help. And I'm working with an $8 billion company to really start moving goods and services. They're currently in South Africa, Tanzania, and in Botswana. But we're looking to move up into other areas of the African continent, especially Sub-Saharan Africa, where a lot of things are happening in Ghana, Nigeria, even Northern Africa, Morocco, and Egypt. And so you just got to, for us, knowing the platform that the consulates and the governments play, we got to pay attention to government because that's where the regulations are occurring. And if we don't know the regulations, it's very interesting. You can do a lot of wrong things and it'll cost you a lot of money. So Toyin, when I first seen her platform, the first thing I said is I need to get with her because number one, she has the personality that'll make people seal deals, right? That's where you want. You want those influencers. But the other thing is she knows what she's talking about. And so growing up here in Milwaukee, I've had a very interesting career in politics and also in the private sector. So I'll stop there and just interested in finding out who potentially can be some partners from the African diaspora.
Wow, fantastic. You know, part of the challenge I have is how do we tell the story? You know, everything you just talked about now, like part of the challenge I have and I've taken it on is, you know, those who know, like those who are connected with the work we're doing, it's either you get it or you don't. Like there's no, and you know, even part of the meeting I just came out of, I said the same thing. Like the people that are in the network that are doing business, everybody here, they're reaping benefits. Like you're making connections, people are seeing you, we're learning, we're growing. So this is just fantastic. But and then you get it. Like I don't have to sell you anything. You get it, right? It's part of the work you're trying to do. You know the importance of policy, the relationship, but also the business side is so important. What I'm telling people now is this is the time we need to move away from theoretical, like just the talk. You know, everybody says, oh yeah, Africa is the next thing, but the question is how do we make this happen? How do we structure the deals? How do we build our brands? How do we build our businesses? How do we buy? How do we sell? Because at the end of the day, it's about buying and selling.
I agree.
Right. Okay, so who wants to,
Yes,
okay, Tama.
just a little.
Oh, go on.
Yeah, no, I just wanted to add a little sidebar to that, just to take the business aspect part out, just to say, since he brought up South Africa, I just also appreciate the small things, because when you had did the presentation with about the leather industry, and I was like, oh wow, and I end up, you know, inboxing that person in South Africa, and I'm actually working with them to get, you know, try to buy some purses,
Right.
because it's not only about investing in Africa. I'm all about buying black. So
Yes.
you know, like, don't get me wrong, there's nothing wrong with Louis Vuitton, and to each his own, but I want to support my black owned company. Well, not my black owned companies, but you know, black owned companies, and especially out of Africa. So
Fantastic.
when I, you know, linked up with this person, I was just so excited, and I was just sharing the link with everybody. So a
Oh,
few of us are, going to try to get together, get the shipping money so we could, just ship it all to, I guess, me, and then I just disperse it. And so I just appreciate those connections too.
fantastic.
So
Wow. And
can
go
I
on,
just
please.
share something?
Yes, sir.
Uh, is this Tana or Tama?
Tama.
Tama? Okay. I
Oh, and
will
I
call,
definitely
I
try
will
to get
call,
some of that South Africa red wine that you was talking about too, Toy.
you
But
know,
I didn't mean to cut you off, Mr. Joseph. I had just forgot to say that part.
no. So Tama, what right?
Tama.
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 Okay. All right. I got to get that right. Because names mean a lot. So when you said that it's not your business, it really is your business, because as Toyin talks about, imports and exports is really about actually having a drop shipper. So if you find someone that's really going to supply your business, then you become the business and they become your supplier. So never give up that story to tell that it is a Black owned business. It's your Black owned business that just happen to have Black suppliers. So, I mean, and that's big, because the Black conscious movement that we have here in the United States is big. And you can tell that story if in fact your supplier actually have labels on it. It is very authentic, coming from a specific African country. There's a lot of marketing possibilities that you can use during this Black conscious movement that we have here in the United States. So take advantage of that.
Fantastic. In
Oh
fact,
yeah, because
yeah.
because like I know a lot of different people, and just because I do like to check things out, one of my friends has a friend that live in South Africa. So I sent it to her and I was like, have your friend check into this. And her friend reported back to her that her mom owns a few purses and she loves them. So I was like, okay, cool, sweet. So
Awesome.
yeah, I
I have,
definitely will be
yeah,
promoting.
Tima, I have a new member that just joined today. So she hasn't even gotten in, but she actually, what she does is she supplies shea butter from Nigeria. So
Oh,
look out for that.
okay, cool.
Like that's it for me. Like the thing is the real deal, like the real deal, the real people that would do the work for you on ground, that will bring things for you. It's a win-win, right? It's a win-win. Like this is again theory. Yes, we can write things on paper, but this is practical. So she has like a business is called Shea Blossom. So she sells wholesale. She also sells in retail packages, and she can, I mean, part of the training that I'll be offering now, just like I've worked with Adisa in the fashion business, is helping to make sure that our branding, our pricing, because one thing I told her yesterday, I said, I have to be direct with you. The landing cost coming in from Ghana versus Nigeria is different. So you're going to be competing with that, but let's get things rolling. We also have some government things, policy that, shipping, transportation costs, logistics, all of those things that has to be in place, but we have the network to start that conversation going. So look out for that. Shea Blossom, shea butter supplier from Africa.
Okay, cool.
Awesome. And then we have a guest who is not yet a member, but I just sent her a link. I said, you've got to join on this call. Vera, are you, I know you said kids are running around, but that's okay. If you want to just say what, introduce yourself, and if you want to listen in afterwards, that's fine. She was my first call this morning. She reached out, she had some questions this morning, but she's leading in the tourism sector. And I don't want to do the introduction for you, but Vera, are you able to unmute and just introduce yourself?
Yes, I am. Hello, everyone. Thank you first, Tony, for this
Random invitation.
Yeah, because I just got home, I had all my kids scattered, and I saw that I was like, oh my God, I really need to log in. So thank you first for this wonderful invitation. And hello, everyone. Nice to be here and to meet everyone. My name is Vera Sharon Ohioma, and I'm a tourism expert and consultant. I'm based in Lagos, Nigeria. So our focus as a company and even as a personal pursuit is to grow the African tourism industry. First, I would say to promote intra-African travel and then position the African tourism industry for business opportunities and investment. So as a brand, what I do is collaborate to create one unique product to solve one problem at a time. So I would say at this point, I would just leave it at here and then just look through and see how the section runs.
Do you want to also talk about, your continental engagement with the tourism board or not?
Not at this point.
Okay, awesome. Okay, we'll keep it. That's okay. But when it's ready, just let me know. We do have the
Okay.
platform and the people that will be interested in finding out, which was the call
That's awesome.
we had this morning, and I felt
this
you needed to
morning.
know. Yes. So you missed Honorable Joseph's introduction. He actually serves as an honorary counsel for South Africa here in the US. So he's interested
great.
in we have like I said, this is a B2B, B2G. So we also work with government policy people. Okay,
Right.
awesome. Thank you for that introduction. Adisa, you're joining us from
Thank you.
Kaduna. Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
Do you want to just reintroduce yourself? And I think
Yeah,
we
sure.
love people also. Yeah, go on.
Yeah, sorry. My name is Hadiza. As Antoine has already done that, I'm a fashion designer, kids fashion designer precisely, and
You're doing business.
yeah, I'm in business. Like I do other side businesses, one or two. I think that I can actually. I discussed that with Tama some time back about the snail farming. Although she was like she doesn't like snails, but I'm into that.
No.
Yeah. And then the regular buying and selling in Nigeria, Ankara and other stuff that
Yeah.
people actually demand from me.
Right.
And basically that's it. And I'm happy meeting everyone on the
Fantastic.
platform.
Awesome.
And I'm ready and I'm
So-
open for business. And I'm really excited, really. I'm always looking forward to meeting new people, people that will add value to. And I also have to move on from their own parts. Like they will also add value in my own personal life and business as well.
Right. Right.
That's
Yeah. Yeah. And definitely this video and all that, we'll make it available. But like I said, there are 500 other people that they're probably busy doing something else and they usually catch up later. So the question I have for everyone is, how are your projects going? What challenges are you facing? What obstacles do you want? Like, what are you solving for right now? What type of support do you need? Oh, Tema, you raised your hand.
Yes, because as you know, I am just involved in so much stuff, and it's just funny that I heard Miss Sharon. Is it Sharon? Miss Sharon mentioned tourism board because I'm actually a part of the African Tourism Board, and I just wrote her hi in our WhatsApp group.
Interesting.
Oh,
Interesting.
really? Are you the Tama that I see
Yes,
on the
ma'am.
chat,
That-
on the WhatsApp chat?
Yes,
Oh my
that's
gosh.
me.
Oh, interesting.
It's
We will connect
God.
after the program. So he's laughing over there.
What can I say?
Yeah.
Like, it is so small. And how I ended up in the group was because before COVID hit, because I'm just
Mhm.
really trying to figure out how I even want to continue. Like I did have, well, I still do tour my travel business on the side, but I was just mostly focusing on cruises for people that's here in the United States. I wasn't dealing with anything else.
Okay.
But as I was going to a lot of different tourism events like with Delta and all these other places, they will have all these people speaking from, of course, everywhere, promoting Europe and all these other places, but nobody was promoting Africa. And that just
Perfect.
made me so that. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to specialize in doing trips to Africa, to different African countries.
Right.
And then I was looking up stuff, and then I just happened to find the African Tourism Board.
Tourism
So I
board.
became
Mhm.
Yep. So I became a member in that, so I could, just try to, learn how to,
Mhm.
link up with different, tour guides in different countries on the continent, and just try to put some trips together. But that was like a few months before COVID hit, and I'm all
Yeah.
like, oh my goodness. So it is on the back burner, but at the same time, it's just something that I had really wanted to do. So it's just funny that now you're in this group.
Well,
I'm like,
Exactly.
I
It's so interesting.
I tell people the power of a network, and when you're in a network, you know people, they feel comfortable with you. There's no limit to what business opportunities would emerge when you
Right.
build those relationships, and that's one of the challenges I have. I keep telling people out there, I mean, this is the way to go. Like the power of a community. I'm sure now you both of you're going to take that, to the next level. And there's so many more people on our platform that needs to know that you need, that they need you. And that's why, I mean, this is just, I didn't plan this, right? There's, but
Yeah.
this is exactly the magic that happens, and it's happening every single day on the platform. People are doing businesses, they're giving proposals. Masabata, who will be on my live show next week, she had the opportunity to speak, and right after that opportunity with me, she called me later and she was listing 4 or 5 things, opportunities that opened up with her. And even yesterday she was like, Toyin, I want to pitch this person that is on the platform, this is what he's asking for, what do you think I should do? Should I do this video 3 seconds? So I also provide that guidance. So I see everything happening, but I also want us to start talking more with each other, because that's where the magic is access to a strong network, it's partnerships, it's training. Tema also attends all my training. Like she's Tema, do you want to talk about that? How has that been for you? The training.
oh my goodness, it has been just amazing. Because like I said, I just feel like I'm just all over the place sometimes because I'm trying to do a lot, but just focus on one thing at a time, and just being in Toyin's, space, and learning from her. I just learned so much and still learning.
Yeah, yeah. And I'm looking, next week, Friday is our next class. We want to talk, the schedule says we're talking about agriculture value chain and business development in that space, but there's still something else I'm hearing within the business development. So I might shift it a little bit, but next week, Friday is this month's training. So, we'll be meeting again next week. Awesome. Honorable Joseph, I see your face. Did you want to say something?
No, when you mention agriculture, I mean, through this agriculture continental free trade agreement, that's going to be key, because
Mhm.
farming is not what it used to be like. When you get a donkey and a plow. I mean, you have companies out there like John Deere and IH Case that actually has equipment that are GPS, has GPS technology on them. And then most large commercial farms actually have drone technology where you don't have crop dusters flying over. You actually have drones and drone operators. So pilot operators. So these are the type of things that it's going to be important for us to plan a long-term growth, not only for the continent, but for our grandchildren, and create these family businesses so you can create wealth. Because you're getting into the business to make money, absolutely. But you're also getting in the business to leave a family legacy. And so you got to be a little bit more intentional, because we've always had, that DNA. I think through capitalism, we just kind of set it to the side and tried to create our own hustle. But, now it's more about going back to the basics and really learning, those concepts that Toyin has had access to, and then implementing it. It's
Right.
not enough to just have all of this knowledge inside of you, but you're not booking flights and you're not investing in your own business. You got to invest in your own business. You have to go and see what's on the ground,
Exactly.
because you can be book smart, but some
Right.
you can actually be,
Right. Wow. What you
And
talked about in terms of investing in ourselves, here's the thing. I'm not asking anybody to do what I'm not doing. I'm actually in training right now, like this week and next week, like
Mhm.
2 hours every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. That's why I shifted today. So I'm also investing in myself. And when I'm pouring into other people, I have to fill my cup. I'm reading, I'm learning, I'm growing. In fact, last week I spent time with one of the major key investors in Rwanda. He's actually the largest private investor. I was like, okay, this is what I'm doing. Is this relevant? Let's look at it. Like, so I am growing I know what to do to grow myself. I'm investing in myself through education, through network. And the reason I pull this together is I'm not seeing enough of that in our community. Like people are going off, they feel like they can build a global business in their room, like without anybody, nobody knows them and nobody's seeing them and nobody trusts them. So it's not translating to commercial opportunities. Like visibility is key. Like as we're doing great work and we're doing meaningful work, if you're not showcasing our work or if you're not telling our story, and if you're not telling it to the right people in the in the right form room in the right way, and the messaging and the branding is not clear, then we're really we're putting money on the table, which is, so I'm doing it for myself. But I realized that in order for us to grow trade, for us to actually get those numbers up, which is what I'm after, all of this thing is all about transactions. But in order for us to get those transactions, I'm realizing that we have to harm people with the right skills. We have to get people in the right network. We have to tell the right story. We have to showcase people. So Mr. Joseph, like last week, you were featured as the member of the week. I don't know if you saw that.
yeah, I saw it. I was like, wait a minute, let me call my agent and make sure I get my signer's fee on. No, I'm just messing with
Yeah, no, but honestly, like, and then my live show, if you want, you have an open invitation, but the earliest slot is now in April.
you. Yeah, I
So
see. You're a busy woman.
yeah, so we have people lined up into April, and it's growing. But part of why that is important is there's power. Like all of the platforms, are built, allows people to shorten the time frame of marketing and people seeing them, right? And be potential partnership. And I know like Keith Sims, that was on my live show, was it 2 weeks ago? He actually pulled our live show and they created a press release for with his association, and they actually announced that he was featured. And thousands of people have seen him, and I'm sure it's translating to some opportunities for him as well. So all of this feature, like that's the new thing we've launched, is member of the week.
Mhm.
Because even my newsletter goes out to thousands and thousands of people. I put that out there as well, telling the story. So we'll keep innovating and finding ways for members of the platform. Maybe we'll do like a member profile. Who are you? What do you do? And then we'll put that in the newsletter, because just on one of my newsletters goes about to 11,000 people, and these are people all over the world. So there's the
Hey,
membership. Yeah, go on.
no, can I use that on my LinkedIn page? I mean, can I?
Yeah, like
Okay.
I'm I'm working on an article right now called it's along how to structure partnerships
Mhm.
for success, right? And one of the first thing, like I want to list like 5 things. One of it is generosity. I'm very generous. Like I'm very generous. And I think people hesitate. They can't even believe how generous I am. So they're like, is she, is she, can we,
What's the angle, right?
what? Yes, like what,
Yeah.
but what I found, and that's why again, this is our community. I'm trying to get us to shift our mindset as well. People in this community, I encourage you to be generous. Like be generous. When you're generous, more people will be attracted to you. I mean, it's generosity is like honey, right? If you put something sweet and delicious in people's mouth, they're not going to run away from you. They're going to come back for more. And eventually, any business opportunity that emerges, it's win-win. Like I'm not a pest. I'm not someone that most people take before they give. I give and then figure out what I need to ask later. And even when I ask, I'm always designing win-win. So that's the secret of the growth of this work. Because Kit was even asking me like, Toyin, when did you leave Walmart again? I was like, this. She said, wow, in just few years like this. I'm like, yeah, generosity works. It works. It might take time, but you get goodwill. Just yesterday, Professor Joseph, yeah, he sent that email out to me. I said, Toyin, I really do need you to know. I think it's important for you to know the impact you being featuring me and my book. This is an example of what it has translated to for me. And he forwarded me, email chain of some conversations of, like Tama bought his book just because I referred her. She sent me a text. And then other people, even Adisa was asking for that book. Then someone else was like, I want that book. And now the person is like, this is someone that can even help you distribute the book in Africa. And Professor Joseph is like, whoa, I didn't even think along that line. Now I have a direct link to a potential distributor that can help me move my book in Africa. So he sent me that email and said, Toyin, I just want you to know this is the impact of you connecting people and all of that. I just feel it's important that you know what's going on. Most people may not let me know, but I know. So generosity. So yes, to your question, can you feature it? Yeah, it's for you to do whatever you want to do. My joy, like I love referring people, but what I do now is I prioritize my community member, right? Because I know you. And if you're in my training, I know you're going to do good. So I'll feel more comfortable referring my community member, which is the value of membership. I would not refer somebody I do not know, right? I would not feature somebody I don't feel comfortable with or somebody that I haven't trained, right? I would not. And people come to me asking for, I want this, I want that. So I'm like, okay, let's pull people into a community. If somebody needs this type of support, then I can say, hey, my member can do that for you. Here, connect the dots. So I do that every day. And so I'm happy. I want people to win. I want people to succeed. As a people, this is our time. The sky is the limit, but we do have to grow. How we do that has to be premium, and I'm happy to feature you on my profile because anybody that comes to you, you're going to do good by them. I trust that. Right?
And I'm also going to let them know exactly who I'm affiliated with, right? I mean, that's the payback. I mean, so I'm going to go to my sister Vera. If you're not a member,
go become a member.
Okay, come on, join the family. Okay, I've only been a member.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
I've only been a member for a month, but see, I take a look at the value chain. There's a lot of memberships that I have in our business, but when you get to a level, you have that option of either joining or putting them on the shelf. And I look at the value. I want to do business in Africa. I want to make on the African continent, and Toya has been very specific about not referring to Africa as a country. There's 55 countries in Africa. So you got to be very specific because if you're looking for investment, that person may not want to do investment in that particular country. So it's these things. And if you don't mind, Toya, there's a book that I rely on. And I've read this book and I go back to this book. It's called Atomic Habits. And Atomic Habits is really getting you to be
Tim Ferriss. Is it Tim Ferriss? Or who was? Is it written by Tim Ferriss?
Yes, I think so. Yep. Now it's an audio, but you can get it in an audio version or you can actually get it in a print version. I like audio version because I can listen to it. But what Atomic Habits help you do is take those little small achievements and turn them into larger successes. And I've become a lot more intentional on making sure that those small habits that have kept me back, I get rid of them. And those small habits that actually takes me into the place where I need to be. I just give you an example, is that every year, my wife and I, we try to travel to South Africa. And I actually, from longitude and latitude, I identify a place when I'm there. I get it on my phone. And then I'll come back when I'm done with that, and I'll visit that place a couple of times and take a look at the environment, touch the soil, come back. And then I go on Google Earth and I plot that on Google Earth that I'm able, even if I'm not there, I'm able to go there via virtual and really see the whole layout. It's like So you're there and you're on the road, you can see a certain portion of it, but when you go to Google Earth and you go to the satellite view, you can actually see the whole community. So those are the type of habits that I'm establishing for myself to learn that, you may go there and you may not know that there's an industrial park that may be about 2 or 3 kilometers away from where you want to do business. That may be an entry to an import export point. So those are the habits that I'm trying to develop, Toyin, and taking your lessons, your teaching, and applying your teachings to those habits that I'm creating for myself. And I enjoy sharing those type of things, because when I hear you saying that you're a giver, that's the principle of actually creating wealth and having is that not trying to hoard it onto yourself, because those people are miserable. But when you give, there's a certain satisfaction to come along with it.
Yeah. And it's attracted so many beautiful, it's a secret. It's simple, but it's a secret. Like just yesterday, I had a meeting with a fellow from the AME, right? The church, the Black church, right? Okay. And they had reached out. I didn't find them. They found me. And he had reached out like, I see what you're doing with Trade with Africa. I would want to learn more. What can and then we set up a call yesterday. And he said, let me tell you how I found you. I was doing a research because as a church body in Atlanta, he actually thought I was in Atlanta, right? So he said, as a church body, as a school, they also have a school. They're trying to reconnect with the Black, Africa, but they don't know where to start, like what's going on, not for profit, like what's going on. And then he researched and found Trade with Africa. And it was like, okay, I love this. And then they sent a message, right? And then I responded and we set up this call. So generosity attracts goodwill, and people who want to be associated with the work that you're doing, they'll reach out to you. Which is what I'm saying. It's a secret. Maybe it's a secret to success. For me, what I'm working on now, or the challenge that I have that I'm laser focused on, is now, what do I want from all of this work that we've done over the years, right? Which is more of, now I appreciate the likes of Google, of Facebook, of Twitter, because they built those infrastructure first to serve people for, free, semi-free, premium, they figured that out. Then after years is when they started talking about monetization. And that's where I am right now. Like, we've done meaningful work. We see the results every single day. People are building businesses. They are growing on the backs of the work and the platform, which is by design. So the work that I'm doing now with my own coaches and my own community and the training I'm in, that's the conversation I'm having with experts to say, okay, we have this reach, we have this platform, what do we do with it, right? The other thing that I do have for my network is we have unique access to decision makers. So for example, we've brought in IATF. We actually have a space, like a private group on the platform just for IATF, which is Intra-African Trade. That's an event hosted by Afreximbank. Like, I work with them and they recognize our platform. We are partners with them. So being able to bring them, like, if there's anything our members need to know, like the latest, greatest information on Intra-African Trade, all I have to do, they're just an email call away. Like, can we set up this? I just need this person, come and speak to my community. They will do that for us. We have direct channels to our partnership to African Union, the Secretariat, and all of that. So they will not just recognize me, but they recognize the network, and I can pull resources in for network members. Like, I wouldn't do that for people on social media, right? So that's why I'm asking people openly, and maybe that's the next poll question I'll send to everybody, because you remember there's one poll question that over 200 people have responded. What are you looking for in this community? Sometimes I go over that to help inform what I should be bringing in, what type of events I should be bringing in, what type of speakers we should be bringing in. I also launched the live show, which is a lot of resources, like retail resources, technology resources next week, So I'm designing for my members as well. And I want to know. So that's what I need from you and those that will be watching this video afterwards. Like, I need that feedback. Like, what do you need? Because we have collective bargaining power, if I can say that. Like, as a group, we are recognized. We are recognized by decision maker at the continental level, at the country levels. So we have, access to various countries. We've hosted the Nigeria Investment Conference. You're not just by yourself. I guess that's the point. Like, people are not just by themselves. They just need to communicate to me what they need. My community members need to tell me what they need, and we'll go out there and bring it. Like, we'll go out there and get it for the group, right? And that's the power of this. And I enjoy doing it because I enjoy seeing the progress. The other thing I enjoy is the brainstorming and the solving aspect. Like, I want more people solving this equation. I used to be a part of, the ecosystem around the world's largest company, Walmart. This past week when I had Clint join me from Northwest Arkansas, I was like, Clint, I really miss you and the conversations, because you and I, we're average. Like, whatever smartness or whatever people think about me, I am normal in that ecosystem, because the world's largest company has attracted the most brilliant minds in the world to solve retail and the complexity of that supply chain. What I'm trying to recreate is, how do we get the most brilliant minds that care about trade with Africa in the same group, exchanging that? Because magic happens, and that's where innovation happens. It's not when we are by ourselves thinking and solving by ourselves. I've seen it happen, like the sharing, the open hand, the general, like in that community, the only way you're successful is if you serve people and people serve you. Like, that's the only way you're relevant. If you're not adding value to that network, like if you're not bringing something in and people can tap into your network, then they won't open their network for you. So that's a culture I'm trying to reintroduce. And Tema as Tema as
Sucking it up like a sponge, right?
yes, not just, she's practicing it. Like, so when any new person comes, I'm like, go talk to Tema. And Tema, like, boom, 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 boom. She does magic. So she's also representing that spirit of generosity that I'm trying to get more of my membership to change. It's a change in behavior. It's like,
I can testify to that.
Exactly.
Jumping in.
No,
She's
please.
just extraordinary, Tama. She is.
So it's a culture. Adisa, I've also challenged you. In fact, I've talked about you, right? There's another fashion person that potentially will be coming in. I've told that person, the person will come and sit with you first, because I've trained you. You will now train that person as well. Like, I'm going, so that's the culture. That's the culture. Is like, there's abundance. Like, let's have this spirit of abundance. There's more opportunity out there that we can all go after, and we can all win together. Like, and then when I encounter opportunities, I'm always thinking, which of my community member needs this? So, for example, when I was talking to the AME, I was thinking about you, Honorable Joseph. I was thinking about also Professor Mbele. Like, they need to listen to people like you. That's what I was thinking, even when I was in that call. I wasn't just thinking about Toyin. I was also thinking about, wow, my other community members need to plug in, like Atlanta, the Black Power, all of that. So anyway.
But one of the things you talked about is bringing the African diaspora here in the United States, African Americans, to really understand that there's an opportunity for joint ventures, not just going in at it alone, but find yourself a partner on the ground. Because there's a couple of things that I've learned from actually creating joint ventures. And you have to do a lot of vetting when you find a partner. And that is, number one, a level of trust. Because the money's going to flow, because they're going to bring some things to the table where you have the opportunity to invest in that joint venture business on the ground. Number one, they know the local market, and they know how to navigate through the regulations. But most importantly, they can expand your network and your customer base, because if you choose the right partner, they'll get you in to actually increase your sales just by being there on a full-time basis. Now, the question you have to ask yourself is how much time you're going to spend in that market in order to help your joint venture partner grow that market. You just can't say, let them go with it, because eventually things become imbalanced, and your joint venture partner, it will start to believe, and this is just normal, that I'm doing all of the work, but I'm sharing the profits with you. It has to be truly a joint venture where folks are really putting the work in together. And that's where, in South Africa, there's a couple of, I've been involved in the defense sector, I've been involved in the agriculture sector, and I've been involved in the manufacturing sector, right? In all of those, we had to be very careful on choosing our joint venture partner, because if you don't choose it correctly, they can be more harmful than good, because you don't know the past experience they had or the performance in it. Or if they had customers before, what were their key performance indicators? It could be bad, it could be good, And I never go into a country without actually establishing a relationship with the mission on the ground, meaning that either the embassy or the consulate. And the reason why I do that is because every embassy and consulate has an economic division, and Tonya knows this. I mean, sometimes I don't even have to go there. I just go to the party that she establishes, and they'll be there, right? But that's important as far as an American is concerned, because you want to find out what the environment is on the table. And one thing that I would tell you that everyone needs to be cautious about is that depending on the administration that we have here, the negative perception about that country could be out there. And you have to know that it's out there, because then people may not trust you, because you can be as black, you can have black consciousness however you want. But when they find out you're an American, you have to put some work in it. You have to put some work in it, because, throughout this history, we have not done well on creating that relationship in African countries. So just consider it to be like, you'll get yourself, you really can get yourself into trouble, not understanding the culture. And I enjoy it. I mean, I remember I was in Nigeria, and they had this feast, and they came out with all of the sausages, right? And they had this blood sausage that they actually put out there. And I was like, I wasn't showing my apprehension, but I said, I'm gonna try. Instead of just saying, no, I don't eat that, I'm gonna try. And I'm gonna trust that my digestive system is gonna be able to take this in. And a good friend of mine says, okay, try it and eat some of this pepper soup and you should be fine. And when I tried it and I did it, I think most people enjoyed me not being afraid of the cultural cuisine that they have, right? And that creates a level of trust in people, or at least it starts the process of you actually creating relationships.
Wow.
Yeah,
that's fantastic. And you talked about the mission. It also serves as a protection. They need to also know and help look out for your business venture, right? Because back in, I think 2018, I was invited to President Ramaphosa's investor meeting in New York. And that was interesting to see the questions that US investors were asking him. They asked questions around talent. How do, we're bringing in our advanced manufacturing. How do we get the talents in? How do we, all of those things. And you can see that, the mission also serves to protect American interests in country. So it's so important that you also go in and let them know you're operating in that country, because they will look out for you as well. So I completely agree. And not enough people are taking advantage of even the opportunities the Department of Commerce offers in terms of, because whenever we do events, we bring in, government agencies. And I don't know if you've seen any of those past conversations where we've brought in like USTDA, USAID, all of those people to talk about, okay, what is the US government doing to support trade with Africa? And then 2019, we actually had full deep session with Exim Bank. Whew, that was good. That was good. One of the things they talked about in terms of their credit insurance was, hey, if you buy the insurance and there's a default, on that side, guess what? We will pay you like 80, 90%, but we will go after, as the United States government, go after that person on your behalf. And guess what? Nobody wants to deal with us. So they are going to, I remember that conversation. I was like, do people really understand what is going on? The United States government is saying we're going to back.
Guarantee your loan.
Guarantee your expansion in Africa.
Right.
I'm like, come on. Like, what's stopping guys? Like, and I think people don't know. people don't know, because if they do know, it's a no-brainer.
Right.
Like you buy the insurance, it's guaranteed. Like you can't lose. Like even if on that side something goes bad with your business, the government is saying, don't worry, we'll give you this percentage back. So it's not a loss for you entirely. But then we will go after those people. And guess what? When we make a call to them, they don't want that call. Yeah.
I got a question for Hadiza.
Hadiza. Okay.
Yep. Hadiza, you there?
Sure. I'm listening.
So you're in Nigeria, right?
Yeah.
So are you in northern Nigeria? Are you from the Lagos area, or are you, over Cross River, Igbo area?
I'm from northern Nigeria, Bauchi State.
Ah, okay. So I know what. Well, tell me, is it Abuja? Or are you Kano? What area?
About 2 hours, 2.5 hours away from Kano.
Ah, okay. I always like to ask that question because now I can see, exactly what.
But I'm actually based in Kaduna, but I'm from Bauchi.
So Nigeria is where you're from and where you live. They are two different things. So she's told you where she's from, but where she's physically joining us from right now is Kaduna, correct, Hadiza?
Okay.
Kaduna, and it's about 2 hours from Abuja.
Okay.
2 hours from Abuja.
Okay.
Yes.
And Vera, I noticed that you had a European accent, but you sound like an African sister. So I'm going to ask what country you reside from?
Okay, so I'm a Nigerian.
Okay.
But I live in Lagos. I don't want to go into the tribes, just not to make it complicated for you. So let's just leave it that I'm a Nigerian, born Nigerian, but I reside in Lagos.
Okay.
And when you reside in Lagos, you call yourself a Lagosian. Just to familiarize you with that term. So when you do come to Lagos, like Thelma, when you do come to Lagos, we would induct you into being a Lagosian. So he knows what I'm talking about.
Yes. All the fufu that is going on TikTok right now.
Seriously.
Yeah. So Tema, we just had to get a guest join us. You remember I told you someone is joining from the Shea Butter business? She just joined now.
Cool.
So I'm going to connect both of you once she's able to get on the platform, but she's a new member that just joined today. So welcome. I don't know if she's able to say hello before we wrap up today. Miss Olasumbo, are you able to say hello to us? This is just a chit chat, community chats today. I sent her the link. I was like, if she's able to just jump in.
Hello, everyone.
Yes, welcome.
Hello, thank you. I just saw the link.
Yeah.
In fact, this time I said, wow, and I missed this, but I thank God that I'm able to get in before the meeting ends. Good to see everybody. Good to see you. It's good to see you. It's past 7 here in the evening in Lagos. We're having family time. I said, okay, let me just quickly check my phone. I said, this meeting has been on. Good to see you all. I'm so glad I could make it. So when next is the meeting?
So every second Friday, third Friday, and fourth Friday, we do community chat. There's so many more people, but people drop in as they are available, and we're trying to make sure we'll show the video so people would also watch the video afterwards, those that cannot join us. But do you want to quickly just introduce yourself, what you do? Because I was talking about you earlier on.
Okay. Good evening, everyone. Good evening from Lagos, Nigeria. My name is Olasumbo Adeleke. I'm into shea butter processing. I work with the women at the grassroots level. Apart from my business, I have a non-profit, which is Initiative for Gender Empowerment and Creativity. So what we do basically is to train and upskill the women at the grassroots level, the women and youth at the grassroots level. So we train them on improved shea butter processing techniques, the packaging and everything, so that it can meet the international standard. So presently, we are trying to set up a shea butter processing plant because all the shea butter we are doing now is handcrafted. So handcrafted shea butter is good, but then we are targeting, we are expanding our target industry, because the shea butter we are making now goes into the cosmetic industry. But we are looking at the pharmaceutical industry and the food industry. You know, pharmaceutical industry, they use it for ointments, and the food industry, they use it for chocolates and food and every other thing. So we are processing plants, which we are starting. We have started the construction. It will have stainless steel machines. It will have water treatment plants. And of course, there's going to be crèche for the women with their babies, and there's going to be dining room and the cloakroom where the women can wash up after work of the day, and a whole lot of things and programs are lined up for the women at the grassroots level. And they are all so excited that at last these things is trickling down to the grassroots community. I'm so excited. So we need, but then part of where we know we are empowering them. But what after empowerment, what next? That is what our creativity now comes into being. What next? They are like, we want to sell more. We want to sell more. We want to create jobs. And so we want to improve their livelihoods. That's why we are looking for the market, so that at least we link these women to the market. They are producing the manufacturers too. They are getting their products maybe as an ingredient, or maybe they want to repackage and everything. So it's a win-win along the agri-value chain. And I'm so glad I'm part of this network, because I know I'm going to meet good people, and whatever you need, maybe if you need something from Nigeria, we can help you. If I cannot do it, of course, we can ask around that, okay, we have somebody from XYZ country. What do you have? Can we help this person? I think that's what networking is all about.
Oh, fantastic. This is it. This is the real action. This like that.
Yes,
That's what I'm telling people. Let's make this happen. Tama, you raised your hand. Jump in.
Oh, hi. It's been raised for a while. It was back when Mr.
Okay.
Talking.
Go on.
But
Go on.
no, when I had raised my hand, I had just wanted to add to what Mr. Joseph was saying,
Yes.
and networking, and definitely, partnering with someone you can trust. Because if I could take y'all back to 2018, when my journey started, like I just always knew I wanted to invest, in something. And it was just like around this time, which I never knew that she did. Like, I was just on Facebook this one particular day, and I had saw that my sorority sister had, posted something about her investing in Nigeria. And I was like, oh, that's interesting. So I end up, and to make a long story short, I end up, talking to her, and then she happened to had a thing going on where she had wanted to invest in this, doing pineapples in Ghana. And she had asked me if I had, wanted to do it with her, because she had been, at that time, she had been investing in Nigeria for 5 years already. And she was, with just like how we are as a group, she was with a group of people that, invested in Africa. And then the person which is our farm manager now, she learned about him through that group. So I was like, yeah, sure. So, but just to take from that, I just feel like I'm just, just so lucky and blessed to have been connected with her, because I already knew her and I already trusted her, and she already been doing it for so long. So it's not only been, a learning experience in that aspect. I even branched off from her and, doing some other things myself. Actually in Nigeria, I have I'm doing a farming project now with a business partner that I have there in Lekki, Nigeria. And just being a part of, like all these different networks and stuff, like, we don't even have enough time for me to tell my whole story, but it's just been just such a marvelous experience. It's just like, I just can't even find the words to really explain, like, how everything had just, has rolled out. And even though it can be challenging, but it's been so easy too at the same time, because I've had so much help along the way. So just, that's why I had said I had just wanted to piggyback off of him and you about like the networking is so important. And then, you know, I just was lucky enough to be attached to somebody that was already already. So I kind of, you know, learned the ropes from her. So I didn't have to go through a lot of the mistakes she had already made. So that's when I had my hand raised. I had, you know, the piggyback up.
Yeah. Thank you. Yeah. Thank you for sharing that. Wow, that's amazing. And then Mrs. Olasumbo, there's a video from Trade with Africa Summit last August that I'll send to you. It's actually this lady works with the Presidential Advisory Council, excuse me, at Washington, D.C. She's on the Presidential Advisory Council on doing business in Africa. And she was one of my speakers. And what she talked about is the work she's doing in Ghana with the women cooperatives, and she helps them package their shea butter, and she, you know, does the lotion and everything and distributes it in the US market. And she tells that story. So that's what I would see as, because I like to show people that story so that you can see it as a North Star and know what you're working towards. You know where you are right now, but if you can see a visual of somebody that has done something incredibly amazing with the same product that you have, shea butter, the same thing you're doing with women empowerment, and she's opened market and done all of this work, it's always really good as human beings when we can see it in our mind, that we know it's possible and we work towards it. So I'll take note to send you that information.
Okay, I'll be glad.
It's really beautiful. She's actually advising the president of, you know, Presidential Advisory Council on doing business in Africa. So it's really at the presidential level in the US as well. I think there's also one more I will share with you. It's the story of Akola Project out of Uganda. They now employ about 500 women in, is it Uganda? I think it's Uganda. It's now a $1 million sales business in the US. It started about 10 years ago. But what they do with the women is and beads, paper beads that is rolled up, and they dip it in lacquer and they sell it to Neiman Marcus as high-end jewelry. That's also, that's also one of the speakers that I have, Akola Project, because when we do those events, we feature those stories to serve as inspiration for people like you. Because what we know is that the work you're doing is very tough. And oftentimes you don't have enough of support. You're really just grinding. And these women look up to you. So whatever resources and partnerships we can bring about with the people on our network and introduction, just to make your work easier. Your work is difficult enough. So those are two things that I would, just to serve as inspiration, that people have done it. It takes time, but you don't have to reinvent the wheel if you can copy and learn from them. Like one of the things we used to say in corporate is about learning from the best, right? We can learn from the best. We should be humble enough to ask questions, and especially for someone like you, that the work you're doing is not just about, like, I love people like you, that you're giving back actively. Like, you're not just, hey, I want to make money. No, you're really about the women. And I know how it is at the grassroots level, that it's a lonely job and very tough.
A lot. Yeah. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Anyway, we can support you. Definitely. I'm taking note of that. Okay, I'm looking at time. Anything else before next week, Friday? Yes, next week, Friday is our training for the month. We'll be talking about agricultural value chain and business development. I really want to focus more on the business development side, because that's where I see the struggle is commercialization of what's going on in the agricultural spaces. We're playing so small in Africa, whereas we need to see what the world is doing. Like, you know, Honorable Joseph was talking about, you're sitting in an agriculture-based state. You've seen the drones and the big thinking and the big things happening there. So how do we get people to see the possibility and the potential in that space as well? So sorry, Ms. Vera, I think you also raised your hand. You wanted to say something. I missed that completely. Sorry.
Oh, okay. It was just along the line of what Tama and what she said last. I think that was following what Joe, because that's the name I see here, had said. So I think I was just trying to put that yeah, the whole idea of based on our discussion earlier this morning when we're talking about collaboration and how it starts from building relationship. And I always say that, first I think it's for me, I always tell people it's always good to collaborate first before you compete. Because I mean that way you're solving a problem, just pick one problem at a time. So I just wanted to add that to all the beautiful conversations ongoing with beautiful projects and the work you're doing. Well done.
Can you say that? Okay, good. Okay.
Oh, did
I lost you. I think maybe others heard what you said, but maybe it was on my side.
Okay. Maybe I could just repeat. I was just adding to the fact that, can you hear me?
Yeah.
To the fact that
Yes.
the collaboration, based on what we talked about this morning about building relationships to collaborate. And I was saying that that I always say collaboration first before you compete, because that way you get to solve a problem, than just competing in the market without solving the problem. Which I mean, when you look at it in the tourism space, it always goes to benefit the communities. So I just wanted to say well done to all the great jobs and lovely, amazing stories I'm hearing here.
Awesome. Yeah, I don't know why. Because you called me this morning and the conversation we had, and when this meeting was on, I was like, let me just see if you can join us. I mean, it's a random invitation, and thank you. So thank you for taking the trust and joining as well. So, yes, ma'am.
Are you familiar with the Nigeria Computer Society?
I believe yes. NUC. No, what's it called? They operate even at the university. Yeah. Mm-hmm. They even
because I was saying that they're having a webinar on the 17th, which I signed up to do. The topic is building capacities for smart agriculture in Nigeria. It's the webinar on the 17th, which I registered for. So if no one on this platform registers, I'll definitely report back with what I learned.
The other thing you can do, Tema, you can drop things like this right in the community, right? Like a lot of people, you guys are not using that platform enough. Like you can post when you see things, you can post what the work you're doing. You can share information. Other people. So when you look at this, when I look, sorry.
Oh no! I was just saying I sure will drop the
link. Please, drop it. Because when I look at the statistics, what I notice on the platform is that people drop in and leave. Like they come in, they take what they need, and then when we're in meetings or events, then we come as a group. But I see people, because it keeps track of like people come in, they go around, they do training, they read, they do this, and then they DM. A lot of DM messaging, private messaging, introduction is going on, which is fantastic. That's why it was built. So I want to encourage people, like everyone to, and I know people will watch this afterwards, like that platform is for you to type in whatever you want the other people to see, whatever you're working on. But the only ask is just make it represent you well. Let it be professional, because people would form an impression based on what you share, right? So just make sure it represents the brand and how you want people to perceive you. Because I tell people are looking at, people may not even DM you, but they are reading your profile. Like I see that happen a lot. Like they are checking out your profile. If you put your picture there, if you put your words, and then they check you out. The other new feature that I try to message to people that is so beautiful is that on your personal page, you now have the ability to add in 10 links to maybe your LinkedIn, Instagram, website, like 10. Even LinkedIn doesn't give us 10, right? You now have the ability that on your personal page, when people come to your page, you can tell them who you are, what you do, and you can showcase your work through your website. Like they can find you and they might decide to follow you on other social media. So that's another feature that is powerful on that platform. 10 links is a lot of things you can show. So take advantage. That platform, there are incredible people, I tell you. There are incredible, incredible people on that platform that just go look up their profile and feel free. They're just a DM away, but introduce yourself well in a way that will get their attention. Awesome.
Okay, cool. Well, I just added it.
Fantastic. And I'll go in and like it. Everybody can go in and like Tema's comment as well.
Okay, we'll check it out.
Yes. Yes. And if anybody also, if there's any guests that I feature in my live on my live show, those are also potentially people that they know about our platform and they don't mind coming in. Like just now, I just got a message from the Kano SSA to the governor. He was featured, was it last week or 2 weeks ago, talking about the leather industry and what they're doing in that space. So anybody that wants to invest in leather, that wants to get maybe raw leather or finished goods, definitely we have the right connection to make that happen.
You sure do, because I'm about to get my purses.
Yeah. Awesome. This has been fantastic, guys. Such an honor, such a privilege. I feel really deeply honored. We keep doing the work every day, showing up on behalf of our community. So at your service, at your service, guys. Thank you. And if you have any questions, let me know. Watch out for my live show every Tuesday. Next week, we're having Masabata, who is also a member of the community. She's 22 and she's doing incredible work. And I know from what she shared with me yesterday, she's trying to also pitch to UN, some training stuff. So I'm helping to guide her from behind the scene. Most people may not see me, but I try to guide my community from behind to help them to be successful as well. So we all win together. We all win. Anything else before we close up for today?
Just Amazon in March. I think it's March 12th. Amazon Business is actually having a webinar for those who do import and export, especially to use their platform in order for you to grow your profitability and grow your business. Mm-hmm. But this is not just the Amazon retail site, but they're going to show you best practices and how they actually grew their business. Jeff Bezos over there, it took him 13 years before he even started growing the business, right? So Torian says you got to put the work in. There's nothing like an overnight success, right?
Let me tell you,
sleeping overnight.
Let me tell you, when people see me, I sit at the feet of the best. When I was meeting with Scott and I was giving him updates, and I said something. I said, "Oh, the Lord is my shepherd." He said, "Yes." He said, but it took him 7 years to build the volume that he could push into the Walmart supply chain. He said those 7 years were a valley of shadow of death. I was like, he said, Toyin, now we're doing fine. They've acquired the biggest private label thing in the US. So they're probably one of the biggest in the US now. But it all started in Rwanda. But it was like Toyin, because it's these stories, so that when we go through our own journey, it will stabilize us, because we'll see, when he had made that announcement of the acquisition, I sent him an email. I was like, wow, this story has a happy ending. It was like, Toyin. Right? So this is real.
You are blessed if your story has a happy ending, because there's a lot of them that don't have a happy ending.
Woo! Boom, mic drop.
Right.
I am thankful and I am grateful. That's why every single person that joins, that listens, that I engage with is a joyful moment for me. Like, I celebrate that. Like, even though we know what we're doing, but it's one person at a time, the micro, right? It's the Miss Olasumbo that just joined us today. It's the Adisa winning in Northern Nigeria. It's Tema. It's one person. It's a drop in the ocean, and what drop. That's how we grow. So I'm very micro in my approach to see people as they have that one-on-one, even as we're doing a group, but I try to understand each person. And that also is why I started my one-on-one business coaching, because I also realized that, yes, we're doing group, but I'm seeing even more rapid results when I spend that one-on-one time using my solving design thinking mindset to look at that person's operation, to look at, like, this is not a generalized conversation. This is now, how do we improve? Like, how do we optimize what you're doing for revenue generation? What are the value streams? What are your costs? Like, specific to that person's business, not just industry, but the person's business, and looking at the person's capacity. And when we go through that cycle, when they come out at the other hand, I'm seeing like they're like a different person.
Mhm.
That's why, yes, I'm still doing the group, but I also realized that sometimes, like Adisa asked me when she took my business to development class, she DM'd me and said, Antoine, that's what she calls it. She was like, I understand what you're saying. I've never done it for me. I'm trying to do, but can you use my business as an example? That was the question. It's like, how do we go from just theory to practical?
Yeah.
And a lot of times people say we have a business plan, and I tell them, yes, it's just like an architect. And that's something I share today as well in other conversations. Like, an architect can draw you your building on paper and it looks beautiful and you can see it in your mind. That's your business plan. But somebody now has to roll up the sleeves and lay the bricks, which is the work that I do. Is, yes, we all want to do great things, big things, yes, but there's a practical side to building a business.
Yeah.
So that's my own focus, is let's make that faster. Let's learn, let's grow, so that we can start seeing results faster. It could take someone 3 years to finally figure it out, something that in a couple of weeks you could actually learn and go build your business. So anyway, so thank you for that. But
Yeah.
a lot, yeah. Yes, sir.
No, I have to, I would just, I have to wrap up. So
Yes. That's what, yes. So thank you, everyone. I'm going to send out some notes out to Mr. Lassenbo just to help her ramp her up joining. But next week, Friday, please, if you're able to join, I look forward to seeing you. Thank you, everyone.
Of course.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
And I wish I could play.
Thank
I wish I could
you.
play a music now. Dun, 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 dun.
Yeah.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.
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 God bless you all. Thank you.